Hey everyone, it's Mike Schutte with Horse Racing Nation and co-author of the 2012 Breeders' Cup Super Screener. We are just days away now. Post positions and final fields will be selected. And of course, we've taken all 180 Breeders' Cup horses through our super rigorous Super Screener criteria. We've done that so we can separate winners from losers. We can take of the many 20-to-1 plus long shots going to be running this weekend and isolate those that are most likely to hit the board. And then finally, but most importantly, we're trying to identify those popular marquee low price type horses that the Super Screener says stand against. And in this video, we're going to reveal to you 4 such horses. Last year, we took our fans through a stand against video and we knocked down 4 very popular horses. Uncle Mo, The Factor, Big Drama, and Turbulent Descent. Not a single one of those hit the Superfecta. So we're going to try to repeat that feat here for you right now. Get your paper and pencil ready. We're about to reveal to you this year's 4 Super Screeners stand against vulnerable favorites. Alright, stand against number 1 comes from the Turf Sprint, and it is none other than the venerable California Flag. Morning line odds said 9-2. Why? Because this horse won this race in 2009. Home court advantage, won on this downhill turf course 5 out of 7 times. So you know he's going to be a local favorite, and the odds will be very low. This is a very poor value horse. Here's why. This horse did not meet 7 of the 9 Super Screener criteria for this race. Besides being 8 years old now and not being anything like he was a few years ago, this horse has been off since April, and horses that have had 90-day layoffs, let alone 7-month layoffs, have struggled in this race. He also hit a top in his last race back in April. That's a big no-no here for the Super Screener. And in addition to that, between his last 2 races, an 8-point swing in the Brisk final speed rating. That again is a negative in the Super Screener. So add that all up, and California Flag in the Turf Sprint stand against, according to the Super Screener. All right, number 2 gets a little bit more controversial here. It's coming out of the Sprint. The defending champ, Amazombie, is a Super Screener stand against for the Exacta. And here's why. When he won this race last year, he faced certainly much easier than he's going to face today. He's another year older here now at 6, and there are several younger horses here that are moving forward in a very big way this time around. And in total, there are 6 other horses here in this race that better meet the Super Screener pace and speed criteria combination. So, add it all up, and the defending sprint champion here is a Super Screener stand against for the Exacta. Now, stand against number 3 comes out of the mile, and I want you to fasten your seatbelts here. I'm getting ready for all the hate mail that's about to come. But mile favorite, winner of 8 of his last 10 races, one of the top-ranked horses in the world, Wise Dan, is a stand against, according to the Super Screener, for the win spot. And here's why. This year, this race, setting up very interesting. There will be white-hot pace as the Super Screener projects, and Wise Dan, who's certainly accustomed to some hot paces, will never have to run faster in this race if he's not taken back further from his very comfortable customary 2 or 3 lengths off that early lead. He's a superstar and he certainly can take some heat, but with that extra heat and on a turf course that he's not as familiar with, much more accustomed to those Midwestern, Eastern, and Canadian type courses, that early heat might take a little starch out of this horse when it comes to that final move in the stretch. Not saying he's not going to run a huge race, but those closers, which are more typical winners of this mile race, could pass him by for that win in the mile race. And wait until you see who the Super Screener puts on top in this race. That in itself is a shocker. Now, stand against number 4, it's the Ladies Classic. And are you ready? She won her last race by 11 lengths. She's undefeated. It is none other than Awesome Feather. But the Super Screener says stand against not just for the win, Exacta, but in the trifecta. And here's why. She's run only 4 races in the last 2 years. That is certainly not the way to prep for probably one of the deepest fields that we've seen for the Ladies Classic in years. On top of that, 25 of the 27 single-digit odds fillies and mares that have run this race since 1998 that have finished in the bottom half of the field were either wire or presser types. And of course, we know Awesome Feather is one that needs to be up front with that very early energy distribution profile. Last 2 prep races were against very powder puff type competition, non-graded stakes on the East Coast, and those are big Super Screener knocks. So, Super Screener says, Awesome Feather, nice filly, but take a big stand against here in the Ladies Classic. That's not all though. Plenty of other horses are going to go off at low prices. The Super Screener said take a stand against, whether it be the Win, Exacta, Trifecta, or the Superfecta spot. So order your Super Screener now at superscreener.com, and here's what you're going to get. Complete details on the Super Screener criteria that is unique for every single one of these 15 races. Last year's results on how each horse performed last year against that Super Screener criteria and their ultimate rankings, detailed analysis and screening of all 180 Breeders' Cup horses and sorted by running style to help you understand the likely pace setup for these races. You'll get final rankings of each race along with a value designation to help you understand which of these are exceptional or good bets versus fair or rather poor wagers. In addition, you'll get wagering recommendations for every one of these races at all budget levels, and as an added bonus, we're going to throw in some Pick 4, Pick 5, and Pick 6 wagers as well. So arm yourself with the most powerful Breeders' Cup handicapping tool out on the market, bar none, so that you can hit the score of a lifetime, maybe even 2 or 3, this coming Breeders' Cup weekend. Order now at superscreener.com, and I wish you all the best this Breeders' Cup weekend. I want you to go fast, I want you to win, I want you to score big, and study hard. We'll see you soon at the Breeders' Cup.